Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to this race between SBDWolf and Xytoriak. So kind of the stakes of this race to begin with is the winner of this match will end up playing the Group C winner, which is me. And they're gonna... Because getting here, SBDWolf ended up losing to Cronin last night in a very closely contested race. Xytoriak also lost to Cronin. Cronin ended up winning the Group B. So the winner of this match will advance into the bracket play. The loser will be eliminated. So kind of previewing the two runners, SBDWolf is the second place holder on the speedrun.com leaderboard for Castlevania with an 11:24. Xytoriak just recently picked up a sub 12 time with an 11:54. In a 25 times Castlevania race last week. There is a bit of an experience gap between the two runners, but as we see in this tournament, there have been a lot of close races overall.
Yep, Freeland, it looks like we're actually starting now with this Castlevania run right here. Now, this is a best of 3, is it not?
Yep. So the runner that picks up 2 wins first will be the one that wins this match. So both runners are going to enter the castle. They want to jump to make sure they save the most number of frames possible. And for SBDWolf, the goal for him is to try and build up a huge lead. Xytoriak's going to want to stay close and pounce if SBDWolf takes a death at some point in this game. That's pretty much kind of the situation the runners find themselves in. For SBDWolf, it's not to give his opponent any chance, and for Xytoriak, it's to be ready when that chance comes up. Looks like neither runner was able to manipulate a stopwatch from the zombies. So they'll be manipulating a backup stopwatch drop from this bat here by standing on a very specific pixel. So Wolf was not able to get the bat boost, while Xytoriak did. That's a 7-second swing in Xytoriak's favor.
He did manage to pull off the backup, which is good for him, but yeah, that was definitely a little bit of a deficit there.
Yeah. 7 seconds isn't a lot in this tournament. There's a lot of 7-second swings in this race.
Plenty of
both runners
to come.
Yeah. Both runners have the stopwatch. They're going to go for the bat crit here. They'll have the stopwatch freeze the bat if they miss that frame. As the Xytoriak goes there. So you just freeze the bat with stopwatch with them down. SBDWolf does pick up the stopwatch, so he's already turned that reduced that 7-second deficit into a 3.5-second deficit because the bat crit saves 3.5 seconds over the stopwatch backup kill. So Xytoriak has a 4-second lead entering level 2. So it's paramount that he avoids any shenanigans on this stage, try and give himself a small lead in level 3 because that's the experience difference between the two runners is going to show up on that level. Show up there more often there.
I mean, I know that we're battling back and forth here, but still, even just a few frames apart, a few seconds apart, there's really solid sync in most of what they're doing. They're jumping, they're whipping, they're maneuvering.
Yeah, SBDWolf did pick up the fast frame rule and leaving stage 4. I wasn't sure about Xytoriak. The way you can tell is when the doors open or close faster than you're usually seeing. So both runners opting to go for the whip buffer setup for this Medusa head damage boost here. Skips most of the room. You don't even get to see the right side of the room because you can just use a Medusa head to skip it. Both runners will have the stopwatch and 6 hearts going into the Crusher room, so they'll just use the stopwatch to freeze, walk underneath the Crushers. Wolf going for a lag reduction strat. He misses the first candle, but he hits the second. And both runners using the bat to damage boost.
Looks like with our streams getting synced up, we now have a better idea of just how far one player is in front of the other. Xytoriak with just a slight lead at this point.
Yeah. It's gonna come down to Dracula most likely, as all these races have come down to. So both runners starting the Medusa boss fight. I think SBDWolf will go for the crit, which he does, and that's gonna get him a little bit closer to Xytoriak as Xytoriak pulls off the classic standard kill with the stun lock. You have a double shot in the Holy Water. You can actually do an indefinite stun lock on bosses as long as you have hearts. You saw right there. SBDWolf is pretty consistent with the crit, so we may see him go for another crit in level 4 with the boss there. See kind of the difference in
there for that jump.
Yeah. See the kind of difference in strats here. SBDWolf going for a faster Fleeman boost that saves about a quarter of a second. Xytoriak went for the classic Fleeman strat. That was around the days of when K-Mac was the world record holder.
Oh, the sync.
So SBDWolf is pretty much caught up with Xytoriak here, so it's gonna be interesting to see where the disparagement and strats come into play. I believe both runners have only forced one drop in this run. I don't know for a fact if anyone's picked up a Holy Water in level 1 or not. We'll find out soon on this next screen. SBDWolf going for the cross throw on that skeleton to make sure he doesn't get hit on the stairs. The wolf does manipulate the potion. Xytoriak taking it a little bit safe on that jump. He was able to hurdle the bone pillar. Took a little bit of time to kind of just recognize where he was. So due to that potion manip, SBDWolf is actually going to take a slight lead here over Xytoriak.
Yeah, Xytoriak did a good job of like keeping up with it and taking the safety there without losing too much time, but that was just fractional time difference.
Looks like SBDWolf's going for the God Bridge off the Rosary drop. Will allow him to save as many frames as possible as Xytoriak goes for the Ouija Bridge, which is 66 frames slower overall.
So the crit here works because the mummies overlap, and because they're overlapping when they take damage for every frame, correct?
Yes. And the damage alternates from one hitbox to another on alternating frames. So the more overlap, the more damage you can do, and the more damage a single cross throw can do. As crossing through both hitboxes. You actually see that in the Dracula fight as well. So the runners are pretty close enough that cave. Oh yeah. Cave skip should.
If you're not, I'll make sure to ask about it. So we got here a new skip, or a different one.
Looks like SBDWolf had to resort to a pause buffer there, but he was able to recover and get the medium spawn.
How does this skip work for those in the audience that aren't familiar?
So the cave skip, you use the stopwatch to delay the bat spawn, similar to the bat boost, the stopwatch trick in level 1. So by delaying that bat, you can actually, it will spawn at a point where you can use it to damage boost into the ceiling, and it skips the cycle on the rafters. And unfortunately, it looks like Xytoriak picked up an axe drop in Fleeman Alley, and that's going to give SBDWolf a huge advantage since he has the Holy Water still, although he did get a couple heart drops.
I've noticed that happen more than once in this tournament. What's the likelihood of an axe, appearing in Fleeman Alley?
Kind of depends on your drop tables for, there. So if you're on the second item in the item counter, the game will drop an axe if you kill an enemy on a specific frame in each little frame roll. So there's a thing in the TAS videos for this thing that tells you and SBDWolf misses the Frank crit. Kind of tells you kind of how the random drops work in this game. Although since we do know how the random drops work, we can figure out how to force them.
But even with the slightly slower Frank, oh no! I was gonna say, even with the slightly slower Frankie fight, Xytoriak is still having to struggle through this with the dagger instead of the holy water. Yeah,
and unfortunately he took a death to Frank right there. SBDWolf starting level 5, doing that new manip strat on the screen. Gets that fast Fleeman booster. That boost has a 2-frame window, but it allows Simon to boost up the stairs a little, past the stairs a little bit faster.
Because stairs are slow.
Yeah, nobody likes stairs. Xytoriak going for whip only with a little bit of help from the dagger on Frankenstein's monster there. Igor giving him a tough time. Got 2 more hits to go. 1 more. Just needs to get a hit on Frank before Igor fires off another shot, which he does. So he's done with level 4. SBDWolf heading into stage 14. This is a pretty dangerous spot for a runner once you pass that stage 13 door, because if you die, you won't be able to pick up holy water before the end of the level, unless you take a game over. Because the only sub-weapon you'll find in this game aside from the drop is the cross in stage 15. That's along the route, I should say. So with that in mind, SBDWolf is going to pick up meat. He is going to try and get through this level as safe as possible.
Holy water is very powerful in this game.
Yeah, not only does it stun lock enemies, it also, because of that stun lock, disables collision on these enemies while the holy water flame or bottle is passing through its hitbox. You're going to see an example of this right here.
Yep.
That is the 4-frame window for the 4-frame window trick for using the holy water bottle in order to stun lock that bone pillar. And give yourself enough iframes to walk through it. When I say yourself, I mean the bone pillar has iframes.
Getting into the death fight, we're going to be trying for that holy water soft lock.
Wolf's got 8 hearts, so it'll be interesting to see what his fight is. He's going for the 4 water kill. Which he expertly hits. It's a pretty new kill that came up probably in about the last year, and we found out that it's actually better to do 2 jump whips instead of throwing another holy water on the way down after that second one.
Getting into the final bridge here with the big bats for Dracula.
Yep. Wolf's gonna try and get through this screen without losing any frames on movement. Because if he loses any frames, those bat patterns become very unpredictable. It's gonna ensure that by hitting that stopwatch candle with the holy water.
Because whipping on the ground is slower than attacking from the air.
Yep. Parachuting in a sub-weapon to hit that candle, I should say. Alright, Xytoriak is starting the death fight. He's got 5 hearts. So he's got to be a little bit careful here. I think he's slowing his fight down on purpose so he has plenty of time to kill him. SBDWolf is at the clock tower. We'll see if he picks up meat here. He does.
Yep.
Because at this point, the only thing that's going to cost him here is dying to Dracula.
Yeah, a death at Dracula would help to sync these two back up pretty well.
Yeah. I think it would take 2 deaths at Dracula for SBDWolf to lose this match, but the death to Dracula, depending on how deep in the fight you are, if you lose early in phase 1, it's about 45 seconds to recover. But if you die to the Cookie Monster, you're losing a minute.
Costly, yeah. It's a long fight in that regard.
Be interesting to see if Xytoriak skips the meat knowing he's behind, or suspecting he's behind knowing his opponent. So Wolf going for the 3-cycle kill on Dracula. He doesn't get the crit, but he is set up for a 5-cycle. Trying to go for backup crits here.
And then go for the soft lock on the, as they call it, the Cookie Monster here.
Yeah. Yep, he's got plenty of hearts, so he should be able to do the machine gun style kill on the Cookie Monster. May have to double whip for one of the holy water tosses. So SBDWolf does take the first match with an 11:54.
Nice, clean, solid, sub 12. Can't complain about that.
Yeah. Seen a lot of sub 12s in this tournament. Kind of the high number of highly skilled runners that are in this tournament overall. We've seen SBDWolf, seen me get one. Theogach, Cronin, and everyone else.
So far, it doesn't look like Xytoriak's really getting the crits he needs here.
Yep, so he's set up for a 6-cycle kill on Dracula.
Oof.
Looks like he did pick up meat in the clock tower. Gotta be a little bit careful, he's 1 hit away from another death. But as soon as Dracula spawns in, he should be good to go. So this will be a 8-cycle kill, and he's got enough hearts to do the stun lock and machine gun kill. He's got Cookie Monster and that Holy Water stun lock. He's just gonna alternate whips and Holy Waters to deal damage. So this is actually a pretty new strat that was developed about a couple of years ago. We found out that there was a higher DPS with the alternating Holy Water and whip strategy as opposed to the double whip and Holy Water to keep the stun lock strat that goes back a long time with the Cookie Monster. Because when I started running it, it was actually a double whip, but now it's found the faster DPS strat that actually saves about 2 seconds on the Cookie Monster overall. Alright, so both runners should be getting ready for their second race very soon. Like I said, SBDWolf did take round 1 in this race, so he is one race win away from advancing to bracket stage. He'll be playing me in that. He'll be playing me as the second place Group C player.
Xytoriak was just taking a quick 5 seconds to shake off the nerves. He's readying up. As soon as SBDWolf readies, we will see the race start here and then on stream.
Yeah, so for SBDWolf, the strategy is probably the same. He may go for some faster plays here, knowing he's got a race to play with here. Xytoriak might... I'm not sure if Xytoriak will opt to try and go as the first race, try and just stay close and wait for that opportunity, which didn't present itself in the first race. That big opportunity. Be curious to see what happens. Like in the match with Cronin, SBDWolf did give Cronin 2 chances to take the lead. There, and Cronin was able to capitalize in both races.
And race is starting up in the race room. Should see it click over here as well soon. Of course, with the natural amount of Twitch delay between what they do and what we actually get to see, so...
Yeah.
Very exciting. And let's not, of course, go without commenting on the fact that this game for an NES game is like just awesome to look at and sounds so good. If your exposure to platforming games is, for instance, things like Mario, this feels like night and day with the detail and just the rockin' soundtrack that goes along with the game.
I think there's also a major... I think there's a major discrepancy between Mario and Castlevania from a gameplay standpoint as well. But the theme of the game is pretty much the same. Castlevania 1 is a pretty good race game because it's only like 12 to 15 minutes overall in a race setting. And I was gonna say... But yeah, it's a very nice race game because of the different amount of strats that you can actually pull off in this game. It's like we got a little bit of a timer issue, but that's not a big deal.
Look at it, we had just a little bit of an issue there with Xytoriak's timer, so we'll keep an eye on the race room instead to find out just where exactly they both are when they finish.
So in this case, I think SBDWolf will be once again looking for that stopwatch drop in order to set himself up for one of those frame-perfect tricks in this game that can save him 3.5 seconds. Which he does get on that last zombie, so if he activates the stopwatch on the first frame of control after passing through this door, he can save 3.5 seconds by delaying the spawn of the first bat. As a reminder you, it is a 1-frame window, which he does not get. You saw him turn around while activating the stopwatch, which means he hit the stopwatch on the second frame, which is the frame the bat spawns in. Both runners have a stopwatch and picked up the bat boost, so they're in pretty decent shape going into stage 3 in the bat crit.
I think Xytoriak's stream started just a little bit longer, but because of the timer issues, we don't know. While they're pretty close to sync up, it may actually be that Xytoriak is slightly in the lead here.
So neither runner getting the bat crit, Wolf getting the backup kill on the stairs. Xytoriak did have that back end away, but he was able to chase him down before it got away. So both runners should be pretty close to each other going into level 2. Be interesting to see who pulls away here. Of course, in level 2, there's not much going on here, and most of the time save comes down to basically intervals of quarter seconds. And when I say quarter seconds, it's kind of like Castlevania 1, similar to Super Mario Bros. In terms of the frame rule system, and the frame rule shows up at doors, so you can kind of see a door opens or closes faster from run to run, both runners getting the fast frame rule leaving stage 4. And
It is interesting watching a speedrun of this game, because as a casual player, I am, one of those people that likes to conserve my hearts and use sub-weapons judiciously, but the speedrun is all about, like, knowing where to use them, how to use them to get through the areas as fast as possible. Speed game is drastically different from a casual game.
Yeah, the goal at the end of each level is to exit with 0 hearts and have the fastest countdown possible as a result.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like both runners
you don't think about.
Using the stopwatch to freeze the crushers. SBDWolf going for a lag reduction strat by hitting the candles and reducing the number of sprites on that screen.
Interesting.
LibKMax's the only one that goes for taking out all 3 candles at the bottom. Right now. See if Wolf goes for the Medusa crit a second time.
Tried it, didn't seem to get it.
I think that's a strat he felt pretty comfortable going for because there's plenty of places where he can pick up that time back. And it's up to his opponent to execute at this point.
Pretty close to synced up once again. It's a back and forth battle here, really.
Yep, and we'll see if the difference in knowledge of how level 3 operates is going to be a big deal or not here. I believe both runners have only picked up 1 drop throughout the run, so they should both be on the potion drop in this stage. Each level has 4 sets of special items it can drop. Looks like SBDWolf got a greeting from Richard at the top of the stairs. SBDWolf does pick up the potion from the bird, and the money bag, so he's now 1 drop away from what we like to call the God Bridge. Xytoriak picks up a potion at the end of stage 7, so he's 4 drops away from that dreaded axe drop that he got in the first run. SBDWolf gets that rosary drop on the next screen. We're going to see some cool stuff in stage 9. Once again, he goes for throwing the cross at the skeleton in order to either hit it, or if it jumps down, he'll be out of the way. So Wolf does get the rosary drop from the bird.
Yep, I'm interested to see what this is going to lead to in this next section.
So, kind of previewing the God Bridge setup, SBDWolf is going to force at least 2 drops, 1 rosary, 1 potion. And getting those drops will allow him to go through this bridge a lot faster. He does not get the rosary drop, so he's going to resort to the Ouija Bridge backup instead. Does get the rosary drop there from the skeleton, but
gets it a little later than he was probably looking
for. So that's going to actually put him on high alert going into level 4, because he's on the axe drop in level 4. And outside of death, that's probably the worst thing that can happen to a runner.
But they both do successfully get the mummy crit, at least, so that speeds up that fight.
Yeah, SBDWolf going for a 1 cross kill on the mummies. Wasn't quite the perfect frame for 1 cross to deal all the damage, so he used the whip to ensure that both mummies would be dead. Whereas Xytoriak going for the 2 cross thing, and when you throw 2 crosses into overlapping hitbox, it's a guaranteed death. So SBDWolf starting the cave skip. This is a 6.5 second trick, so it's still anyone's race. I think he might have paused that one too. Nope. He was able to convert that high fisherman spawn into a workable pattern. Xytoriak got a low bat there, so he's going to have to take the raft ride of shame.
It's just a casual cruise, it's fine.
Yeah. So Wolf is entering Fleeman Alley, but his drop table is at 2, so he is gotta be on high alert for an axe. Ooh, you can see the look on his face. He's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah, that's the break that Xytoriak needs in order to try and pick up a little bit of time here. I think the time SBDWolf is pretty consistent overall. I'm pretty sure he's got this practiced. But it is going to give Xytoriak some time to pick up. Going for that Puzz Buffer Manip on the 2 Bone Dragons. He's got a double shot and 20 hearts, so he's in pretty decent shape for the Frank kill with the axe, so I don't think Xytoriak's going to jump ahead, but it's going to be a lot closer as a result.
Yeah, watching this marathon in action, this tournament in action, there has been a lot of discussion about, like, having a Frankie axe backup for this area and knowing how to pull off that fight.
Yeah. The real issue with this fight isn't Frankenstein's monsters, that Fleeman jumping around called Igor.
Yep.
That's the one thing that can throw you off in this race. That thing's jumping around all over the screen. That's why runners opt for the Holy Water stun lock strat, so that we don't have that chaos coming around. Because if Igor doesn't jump off Frankenstein's shoulder, it's obviously not going to shoot fireballs at you. Because when it breaks free, you have 3 enemy hitboxes to worry about.
Again, opting to use the Flea Man instead of hitting the stairs because stairs are slow. Yeah, and there again with the skeleton and the bones.
Looks like Xytoriak took a knockback on the beginning of stage 13, so he is going to lose a little bit of time to SBDWolf as a result of that. Say Wolf has maybe about a 2.5 lead at this point.
Is there concern about his health, or is there a meat drop close enough by that he's gonna... Oh, I guess there it is.
Yeah, there's an upcoming meat drop, SBDWolf picking up the meat. Then Xytoriak will have to pick up the meat because he won't be able to perform this next damage boost if he doesn't.
Yeah.
And this first screen of stage 14 is very difficult to do if you don't have the ability to damage boost, because you gotta get through 2 Axe Knights and a Fleaman. And it's much easier to just take a damage boost instead of trying to fight 2 enemies with 9 HP. Granted that the Holy Water sub-weapon, if you get the Holy Water into their hitboxes, the Axe Knights will die from the number of hits they take, as you can see right there.
Again, using those Holy Waters to do the stun locks to get through things faster without taking damage.
And they can do that because the Axe Knights don't... The Axe Knights hitbox has its collision detection disabled while it's being hit by Holy Water. Since the collision detection occurs on every single frame.
SBDWolf deciding to take the actual damage there from that bone pillar.
I think he knows that the race is pretty close. Xytoriak going for the statue skip there to try and save some health. Knowing how close this race could be, he's opting for the 5 frames. We may see him go for the skipping the meat in the clock tower as a result. I don't think he wants this to go to a 3rd race.
Yeah. There's that last 2 whips that you were talking about there that makes it just a little faster.
Looks like he's going for a safer variety of the faster death kill. I think you used 6 hearts in that fight. So SBDWolf has maybe about a 1-second lead entering level 6, so it's going to come down to 2 cycle versus 3 cycle, although maybe 3 versus 5, most likely, how it plays out. Because each additional Dracula cycle is 3.5 seconds, roughly. So SBDWolf started the meat. It'd be interesting to see if SBDWolf does pick up the meat. Saw last night, Crutton actually had a run on PB pace in level 6, but he did pick up the meat. But that was the case where he was significantly ahead of the runner. The SBDWolf doesn't have that luxury here. I do remember there was one race decided because one runner did pick up meat and another didn't. Well, it could have been. I think it was race 2 between SBDWolf and Crutton.
Still goes for the meat.
We'll see if Xytoriak skips the meat here. Looks like he wasn't able to get the damage boost off the skeleton, so that lead's gonna balloon a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about a screen apart right now, based on how the game divides these things up.
So I'd say they're about 8 or 9 seconds apart at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So if SBDWolf does nail 2 cycle, he's guaranteed to finish ahead of Xytoriak. Or anything 5 cycles or less.
Oh, that was a nice crit right there. That's a 3 cycle for him.
So SBDWolf is in a pretty commanding position to take this race. Xytoriak a little bit early on that whip strike for the crit. Going for a backup crit there, just a little bit early again. And SBDWolf does take the 2nd race.
Yep. Official
with an 11:56.
I say, in the chat room, it is official time there of 12 minutes and 6 seconds. Still about, like, enough ahead of Xytoriak.
So SBDWolf will be moving on to the bracket stage. He'll be playing me, since he's the second place winner of Group B, playing the winner of the Group C bracket, which was me.
Are we gonna try and get them in for an interview?
Yeah, let's see that. Alright, I'm gonna go look for that thing.
Yes, though, GG's to both of our runners. They managed to keep this close through both the first and second races, so well done for both of them.
So with this match underway, we have the eight players in the tournament bracket. They'll be from Group A, 2 Sneck and Alright, so Xytoriak's asking about a post-race interview, so I don't think I can send him an invite to this server. That's gonna... Just wait for both runners to do so. So kind of just a reminder, who's advancing in this tournament from Group A is 2 Sneck and Daikenner will move on from Group A. Group B will be Crunnen and SBDWolf. Group C will be myself and Level Engine, and then Group D will be Implosion, Retro Gaming, and Theogotch. Of course, Group D came down to a tiebreaker race between Implosion, Theogotch, and Ohekid Sneck yesterday, if you wanted to check that race out.
That was a really solid race.
Yeah, it actually, if I remember correctly, it was only a 2-second difference between Theogotch and Implosion.
Mm-hmm.
I think Theogotch's best run was about 10 seconds faster than Implosion's. And that was the ultimate difference. Looks like SBDWolf is coming in for an interview. I believe Xytoriak will follow pretty soon. Once they're in the on-air, we'll get to talk to them. So as soon as we get both runners into the commentary, we'll get to hear from them.
So, speaking of the tournament that's coming up, as we still have a couple more days of things going on at this point, what are your thoughts on the tournament coming up? You got any predictions? You have anything you're looking forward to for this tournament?
Yeah, I am. I got a tough slate in getting into the finals. SBDWolf and Crunnen. The winner of Crunnen Level Engine, I should say. So yeah, Group B and I think Group B and C. I think Group B is you had put a pretty good list of runners that together. Group B and C is going to be a tough out for the 4 of us left, for sure. And of course, see how the Group A and D matches play out. Like I said, Daikenner had some pretty good races in this tournament overall, so that bracket could be anyone's race as well. All right, looks like we have both of them here.
What's up, guys?
GG's, guys.
Doing all right. So, congratulations, SBDWolf. You will be moving on to the bracket stage, and your first opponent will be me.
Thanks. Oh. It's gonna
Get
be
to have a
another one.
rematch. Get to have a rematch from last year.
Yeah, that's right. The shoot, which was it? We had a tournament last year, a bracket tournament.
It was a GG speedruns
Oh yeah, the
tournament.
GG one, right? Did that one have a group stage as well first, or
No, I think it was a double. It was a double elimination bracket.
I see. Yeah, and this one is gonna be single. So.
Yeah, down to the top 8, I believe.
I guess so. Well, that's gonna be fun then. Looking forward to our match. GG Xytoriak for this one. You had some really good races in there. Like the first one, the first race I think would have been much closer if you didn't take that death on Frank, because that cost you how long? Like 40, 50 seconds.
Somewhere around there, yeah. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just trying to focus and not die again.
Yeah, I think you both got an axe drop on one of your runs. So like, Xytoriak got an axe drop in the first race. You got an SBWolf got an axe drop in race number 2. I think.
Yeah, I was so surprised because I've been practicing Fleeman Alley a ton lately, and like I've been avoiding item drops for the most part. And this one time I still got axed.
Yeah, you actually recovered pretty well from that axe drop. I'm assuming you've practiced that strat.
Sort
quite
of.
a bit.
I mean, not really since a while ago,
Yeah.
since the first time I actually learned axe strat. So I didn't have. There's like a much cleaner way you can stun the Fleeman with it, but I kind of know how to improv and use the axe on it, I guess. But there is a much cleaner strat than what I did that you could do.
So, anyways, Xytoriak, how do you feel about your overall race performance in this tournament?
I've got some work to do, and I'm going to come back with a vengeance.
I'll be looking forward to seeing that.
I think I'm going to take maybe a week or 2 off just to like reset my brain, and then I've got the VOD saved from when Two Snack reviewed that 1154 PB to give me tips to get to 11.4x. So I think take a couple weeks off, reset the brain, and then just start learning new strats and the faster strats like 2-cycle Dracula, fast stopwatch, all the good stuff that I don't know how to do yet.
I was gonna say there's a lot of routes to it, even to just an 11.3x run, I believe. Now, you don't actually have to sell out for everything to get that time.
Yeah, no. Right now, I could probably get like a high 11.4x if I just tightened up everything I do now. Get more consistent on like the Drac crit. Get more consistent on the bat crit, so I'm getting that more often.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Dracula is, I don't want to say it's everything, but like it's extremely important. If you tighten up your Dracula, you'll see your time just improve out of nowhere.
Yeah, Dracula serves as a gatekeeper in speedruns, not only in speedruns but also races. That's why it's never. This game is never over until Dracula is dead.
Oh yeah, I mean the difference between a 3 and 5 cycle is like 10 seconds. So, I mean,
well, not quite 10 seconds, but it's still pretty significant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just going through I was just pulling a random number. That's I know my PB went up 10 seconds when I got a 3 cycle. But yeah, I want to say, congratulations to both Kernan and SBDWolf. They both raced really well. They're so consistent, and it's so cool to see. Yeah, I have nothing but praise for both of them. As soon as I saw them in this group, I was like, this is going to be a really tough group to try to surpass.
I was gonna say this is a pretty tough. Pretty much every runner had a tough out in this one because of how competitive this tournament ended up being.
Yeah, I don't think there was a group that I saw that was like there was like going to be a clear like they have no problem. It was everybody was pretty. I mean, even look at Kernan with the win last night. That was insane too.
So after completing your first Castlevania tournament, what did you think of Castlevania as a tournament run overall?
I do like the best 2 out of 3 for each match because, especially for like this being like a first like, real tournament. Like, I know when I was facing Krunen, like I was nervous, like I was almost shaking. Like same thing with when I did that knockout tournament on Halloween. But like today, I was a little more even, level-headed, and it gives you a chance to like the first race I had the accident that ended up costing me like probably a whole minute. And then the second time you go through, and then I had a much better time. So I like that it's not one and done.
Yeah, I like the 2 of 3 tournament too because you get a mulligan if you slip up in the first race.
Yeah, Castlevania, like it's not the most volatile of games out there, but it definitely has things that can create a large enough swing to like make you lose a run to something relatively small. So it's a nice thing to have a 2 out of 3 format instead of just a one and done. And on top of that, it's just a really short run. So like it's nice to have multiple runs with the same game. Otherwise, it's just 10 minutes per match.
Yeah, I think the length of the run helps to be able to do multiple runs too. Because I mean, if you're trying to do 2 out of 3 of like Super Metroid, you're looking at possibly 2.5 hours for a match. But
well, let's just say this: you can fit 3 Castlevania runs in a single Super Metroid run race.
Exactly.
3.5.
So anyway, SBDWolf, what are your thoughts going through the bracket stage and seeing your potential opponents to try and get into the finals?
Is there a draft of the bracket so far, or?
I believe it's Group A and D play each other, and then B and C.
Okay, so
That's what I saw on.
Me being seed number 2 in Group D. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
facing you. You told me earlier.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Unless there's unless there's something different they're planning. Is there?
Well, anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to facing you in this case. Then, yeah, Group C. I mean, whoever wins from our match, who do we face after that?
The winner of Krunen and Level Engine.
Okay, sounds good. Well, in that case, I mean, nothing against Level Engine, but I'd like to take my revenge against Krunen.
I'm sure you got a couple scores to settle in this bracket.
I told SBDWolf in the race chat, I was like, you got to take it all the way so that I can say I lost to the best.
Yeah, same thing if you beat me. If. Should be a fun match, though.
Yeah, Canadian's winner. Freeland, you are, I mean, you saw how far you got in the knockout tournament. You're a really good consistent racer. It will be a fun match. Or or set, I guess. Since it's
gonna be like last time. It's gonna come down to who blinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch the rest of this tournament now and just watch all the best runners just try to shred each other apart.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bloodbath, not in the sense of one-sidedness. Just a lot of. That's how even-handed I think this tournament bracket's going to be. So I believe we still have until Sunday to get these matches all in.
Really? I thought. Oh yeah, right.
Yep, you guys got 3 days to get the last. How many? So that'd be what? 7 matches left?
I believe so.
And then we'll have our bracket finalized, I guess.
All right. Any last things to say before we head on out?
Remember me.
GG's to both Krunen and SBDWolf, and GLHF to all the runners who are still in it.
Same, honestly. GLHF to everybody.
So just as a reminder, you'll want to go follow both SBDWolf and Xytoriak on Twitch. Very talented Castlevania 1 runners in their own right. You saw how well they performed in the Conan and the SpeedGaming Live tournament, you want to make sure to check out both streamers as well. You want to see how get behind the meat, kind of go behind their thought process of how they attack this game, both from a practice and a gameplay standpoint when they're going through these runs. When they're able to reset, that is.
Yeah, no reset runs are a whole different beast than mess that up, start over.
Yeah, much different story than a PB attempt. That's what makes. And this game does have inherent parity in there, I believe, due to the sheer number of tricks that can be pulled off in such a small run.
Yeah, I learned in the 25X against like you and JC, and SBDWolf, and everyone that you cannot stop thinking for 5 seconds. Like, like before that, I never did like multiple runs in a row. So I was like, do a run, you like take a breather, do another run, take a breather. And like that was the first time where I did like bunch back to back. Or even with these races, it's like you do one, you set up and do another one. Like you cannot you can't blink. Like you have to be focused the entire time, because the second you like take your eyes off it, you miss a trick, and then you just ate 15 seconds.
All right. So take care, and best of luck to both of you with this game moving forward.
Thank you. And thanks for commentating, Freeland. You've been doing a great job.
See you, everybody.
So anyway, Dark Moon, any last thoughts on the what we're likely going to see in the bracket stage of the tournament?
Well, as you noted, we've had a number of runners clocking in at the sub 12 mark at this point, and I think what we're looking at now is the fact that the runners that we have left are certainly among the faster that we have in the tournament. The level of competition that is required to remain here and move farther, it's going to require that the runners are able to pull off the tricks, able to do the skips, able to properly manipulate the game, and avoid that axe and Fleeman alley. I'm looking forward to what's coming up and seeing the cream of the crop at this point manage to continue to pull sub 12s and maybe beyond.
So for everyone here, speaking for SBDWolf, Xytoriak, and Dark Moon EX, I'm Freeland1787, and you'll want to stay tuned for the top 8 bracket on SpeedGaming Live 2020.
Thanks, everyone.